My earlier guest, whom we were expecting to connect because of technology, we couldn't get her. But now we've been able to reach our Mrs. Aisha Yesufu, a co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. She joins us from Berlin in Germany. Thank you so much, Mrs. Yesufu, for coming on tonight. How do you react to what the news of the reported forced marriage, and also what we heard that Leah Shaibu may have put to bed?
Well, first of all, we are aghast at such a news that what is happening right now. But of course, what do we expect? We left a daughter. Nigeria negotiated for her children and left one daughter behind. And it's how many years now? Nothing has been done. And of course, that's what we expect. I was here, even though you couldn't hear me, I heard all what Afemi Adesina was saying, and in the fact that, talking about the fact that things are better now than they were 2015. I wonder how. Leah Sharibu has been taken away. A 12-year-old boy was affected today in the bombing. How is that something that it's okay? How did you get to a point where we are comparing deaths? How did we get to a point where we leave a daughter behind and do absolutely nothing about it? Sephora, the terrorists said they were going to kill her. They did kill her. Nothing happened. The same thing with Hawa Liman. We have seen abduction in the last 2 months alone. We have seen a lot of abduction, a lot of execution going on with the terrorists. For how long are we going to stay and continue like this? I mean, just looking at the issue, where do we go from here? What is the government doing? The government is doing absolutely nothing. The president says he gets report. Of what use is the report he's getting if he's not fighting this war strategically, if he's not being the commander-in-chief that is in front? This was the same president who said to us he was going to lead from the front. Leah Sharibu today is still in captivity, and this is what we are hearing. Well, how did we leave our daughter behind? A 15-year-old having to go through this, all of this.
Mrs. Yesufu, apologies if I bought in quickly. You heard what Mr. Adesina said earlier, and I was going to say, would it be fair for those who are in the front line when you say that they're doing absolutely nothing? And if Mr. Adesina, for example, says the government is working to bring Leah Sharibu back home, is there any hope for you in that? Do you believe those words?
So first of all, how I wish Mr. Adesina was still there. One question I would have put to him: has the government called the family of Leah Sharibu? That is one question. A government that says it's doing everything to bring back Leah Sharibu hasn't yet spoken to the mother, hasn't yet spoken to the parents of Leah Sharibu. They haven't done that. When you talk about people at the war front, our soldiers are being killed needlessly because we have a commander-in-chief who is doing his job incompetently. And that's the problem. The other time, did we not see our soldiers writing to the president to say to him they are being starved at the war front? They are being killed at the war front. They don't have weapons. What has the president done? He has a meeting with them and then it goes on. You know, Femi Adesina said something that in 2015, things were worse than they are now. I think Femi Adesina needs to sit back and think about what security is all about. In 2015, we could travel Abuja-Kaduna Road safely. In 2015, we could travel Zaria-Kaduna Road safely. In 2015, Leah Sharibu wasn't in captivity. That children weren't taken away. So in what way are we comparing this war?
So just because of our time, Mrs. Yesufu, what would you be requiring from the government to bring back our girls? Just in about 30 seconds, before we need to close now. What would your group, or what is your group asking, or what would you be requiring the government to do now as a solution for these issues?
What we require from the government is for the government to begin to fight this war strategically. Right now, the war is not being fought. We wait for Boko Haram to attack us, and when they attack, that is only when the military repel. How did we get to a point where we have a military that is not going after Boko Haram, attacking Boko Haram, ensuring that all of us are safe in our nation? How did we get there? The president needs to understand that as the commander-in-chief, his business is not to travel around the world. His business is to stay back home and ensure that every Nigerian life is secured. Every property in Nigeria is secured.
All right.
And that's what we're talking about. There should be feedback mechanism. Let them talk to the parents. of those who are affected. When last did they
Mrs.
talk to chief of
Yesufu,
parents?
yeah, because of our time, we need to leave it at that. But I must sincerely thank you for sparing time to talk to us and reacting as a group on this one. To bring back our guest, co-convener, Mrs. Aisha Yesufu, talking to us from London. Let me get some of your views tonight on Twitter as he sent them to us quickly. I'll take 3 of your tweets. Stakeholder as take case. Why is the government of Buhari continually making reference to 2015? The country's security is alarming. Please let Mr. President address growing insecurity. Yusuf Dingiadi at Use Digia 1 says, Boko Haram's attack is a worrisome. There is need of urgent solutions to bring an end of this reign of terror around our communities in the Northeast. Security heads are advised to intensify synergy efforts to curtail the killings it must curtailed. The last one from Kawade, I saw at Busui Ike. The salvation of Nigeria does not lie in the hands of the politicians. They are only concerned with winning elections. Proffering solutions to a myriad of national issues is not in their agenda. Almost 21 years of practice of democracy, our nation's growth remains stunted. Those are some of your tweets to us. Let me sincerely thank my guests from Abuja and Kano studio, Mr. Samson Itodo, Executive Director of YAGA, and Mr. Festus Okoye, National Commissioner with INEC. Just before we go, everyone, a lot of the time we blame underdevelopment on state and federal government, but we forget that the local government is a very important aspect of our lives. The local government is the closest tier of government to the people. They collect rates, levies, and rents for development. Are those being used? They are responsible for creating and administering motor parks, responsible for creating feeder roads and drainages, provision of basic amenities, health facilities, and education facilities. Well, those duties stated are quite stated and clearly stated by the Constitution. It is easier to relate to your local government chairman or council head, or when these things are not in place, to call them to account. I hear in some states that some governors do not allow the local government chair and head to work. Issues of independence. You are the citizen and the power lies in your hands. You can easily call your local government leaders to question. And that's my final word tonight on the program. Many thanks everyone for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.